My friend has brought it to my attention that now that I have more than one subscriber, I can start saying, "What's up, peoples?" And it will fit really well. So that's what I'm going to start doing. What's up, peoples? I think it's really funny. I think it fits my personality, my channel, and it's an accurate representation of you all. You all are people. So, and you're my peoples too. And my last name is Peoples. What's up, Peoples? I like that. I like that. So this morning, did my quiet time again, and I have to say something. Having consistent quiet times is hard, really hard, because sometimes you just don't feel like waking up in the morning if you do your quiet times in the morning, or setting a time out of your day, out of your schedule for God. And one of the ways that I've gotten so used to doing my quiet times is that I actually started applying what God told us to do, which is to love Him with all our mind, with all our strength, with all our soul, everything that we have, to love Him. And love has not one bone of selfishness in it. So in our relationship with God, if we're being completely selfless, then we ask ourselves, well, what would God want me to do? And having our quiet times is sort of like a heart-to-heart conversation where God is talking to us. So I just wanted to put that out there because it's not easy for me to do my quiet times every day, but over time I want to do my quiet times because I want to know more about God. I want to have more knowledge about Him, want to understand Him better. I want to basically fear Him. I want to abide by His commandments. I don't want to disappoint God. So I want Him to be able to talk to me and for me to really listen and really accept what He's telling me. So I read Proverbs 11 this morning, verses 7 through 12. Yesterday I did verses 1 through 6. So verses 7 through 11, my bad. I read that really quickly. When a wicked man dies, his expectation will perish, and the hope of the unjust perishes. The righteous is delivered from trouble, and it comes to the wicked instead. The hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor, but through knowledge the righteous will be delivered. And when it goes well with the righteous, the city rejoices, and when the wicked perish, there is jubilation. By the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. So this portion, it was kind of difficult for me to understand at first, because I was focusing more on like what this passage means and what this passage means to me, instead of focusing in on, okay, what does this passage mean and what is God trying to tell me? So I had to really battle between that, and I had to keep catching myself like, no, Marvin, what does God want me to know from this? What is God trying to tell me personally from His heart? So with verse 7, when a wicked man dies, his expectation will perish, and the hope of the unjust perishes. This verse was really hard for me to understand because I really had to understand what a wicked heart is, what a person who sins, what are their expectations, what are the hopes of the unjust people. And by thinking about this for about 30 minutes and just sitting there like, what is God trying to convey to me? What does a sinful person, what are sinful people's expectations, and what are the hopes of unjust people? And I came to the conclusion that the expectations of a wicked person are basically to live a sinful and a wicked life. They expect to live tomorrow and do the same things. Whatever their heart desires, they expect to live out those desires. And expectation is basically just a very strong desire um, about the future, fulfilling things about the future. So, like, that's what a wicked heart wants, to do more wickedness. So that's what they expect to do in the future, and then that's what they truly desire to do. But what are the hopes of the unjust, right? And the hopes of the unjust are, ironically, to do injustice. Yes, that's obvious. But truly, in our hearts, they want the goodness of God. They want to experience that full and abundant life. They want to experience what true love is, because that's what God has purposed for us in this world. But they seek that through injustice. And both the expectation and the hope perishes. And why does it perish? Because Jesus will come back, he would judge, and the people who don't believe, the people who don't repent and really turn from their ways of wickedness, turn from their ways of injustice, will have to own up to what they've done and spend the rest of eternity separated from God. And that's what hell is. So they can't expect to do more wickedness, because God will completely wipe out all wickedness. They can't expect to do more injustice, because God will wipe out all injustice. God will wipe out everything that's evil, everything that's wicked, everything that's sinful. And sinful people have no hope. Sinful people who don't repent have no hope, because if they hope to live another day to sin, then if God wipes out all sin, then they have no hope there. I hope I explained that well. Again, this is what I feel that God was telling me, and what my understanding of this is in my context. But everything, all sin wiped out, all wickedness wiped out, all injustice wiped out. So no expectations, no hope. But the rest of the verses 8 through 11, it contrasts the righteous and the wicked. So if I just take the righteous part of it, it says the righteous is delivered from trouble. Through knowledge, the righteous will be delivered. When it goes well with the righteous, the city rejoices. And by the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted. So, really, when we walk righteously, what happens is that not only do we stray away from evil things, not only are we in God's hands and shielded from evil, but we make those around us better when we walk in righteousness. But the wicked, they do something completely different. They do the exact opposite of that. So just taking out what this says about the wicked, trouble comes to the wicked instead of the righteous. The hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor. When the wicked perish, there's jubilation, which is basically there's feelings of happiness and triumph. So think about Hitler, and there was a celebration that Hitler died. That's what people would do with wicked people. When wicked people die, there's people who rejoice. There's a happiness about it. And then the next part, it says, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. And this verse, this little part is talking about, I'll just read the whole all of verse 11. By the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. So basically, the wicked destroys the things of the righteous. Now, previously, I just said that the righteous is completely protected from evil. Yes, a righteous individual is completely protected from evil. Their spirit is completely protected from evil. But everything of this world is fallen, and everything of this world is in evil hands, basically, and will be done away with. So yes, an evil person can hurt the flesh, can hurt the body. An evil person can destroy a city, material things, basically. An evil person has control over all of that, and they can do evil to material things, because evil things, wicked things are of this world, but goodness, righteousness, those things are from heaven. Those things are immaterial. So an evil person cannot touch those things, and through that, the righteous are protected. The righteous are delivered from trouble. So I think Jesus says this in the New Testament. He says, don't fear who can kill you, but fear who can destroy, fear who can send you to hell. Something like that. Basically, don't fear people, but fear God, because God can do much, much worse. He can condemn your soul to hell, and that's way worse than being punished in your flesh. So don't fear man, but fear God. That's basically what Jesus says. I can't remember the verse quite well, but that's overall what I got from this. The righteous are in God's hands, and when we do righteous things, then essentially we're loving. That falls under the category of love. We build each other. When we love, we build people up around us. But if we don't love, we tear people down, and that's wickedness. So, yeah. All right, peoples. I'll see you in the next video.